So dear ministers, dear deputy ministers, dear hosts, dear colleagues, partners, and friends of the PeaceBread project, we are once again very happy to take part in the annual conference Peace and Agriculture. And we are glad that even in these hard times, there is a way to make the 7th annual conference happen. I'm Natalia Shukadarova, the Executive Director of the National Grain Producers Association from Bulgaria. And I would like in the next few minutes to give a small presentation about the NGPA's participation in the PeaceBread project through the years. Next slide, please. Yes. So NGPA has joined the PeaceBread project since the very beginning. In 2013, our organization received the rice seeds from the creators of the project, and we sold the seeds in the historic town of Soedinenie, a region of Plovdiv, in the family farm of Mr. Angel Vukudinov, an innovative and respectful family farmer in southern Bulgaria. Next slide. In 2015, NGPA continued the symbolic PeaceBread initiative, and we sold the rice seeds in Kubrat, region of Razgrad, in the fields of the honored family farmer and seed producer, Miss Mariela Yordanova. The rye was harvested in a fascinating traditional ceremony, and rye bread was baked and donated to people with specific dietary needs. Next slide. The PeaceBread tradition is continued in 2016 in the village of Klikac, region of Burgas, on the borderline of the family farms of Mr. Nikolai Kirov and Mr. Theodor Todorov, a perfect example of cooperation, solidarity, and unification. The PeaceBread is donated to people in need. Next slide. Yes, thank you. In 2017, the PeaceBread rice seeds are sown in the family farm of Mr. Dimitar Machuganov from Letnica, region of Lovech. And once again, the tradition for donating the right pieces of bread to people with specific dietary needs was respected. Next slide, please. So I would like proudly to remind you of those lovely moments that we had in the 4th annual International Conference, Peace and Agriculture, which was organized in Bulgaria in 2017 by the National Grain Producers Association, together with the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Forestry, with topic Sustainable Management of Agricultural Land and subtopic Prospects for the Future CAP post-2020. Next slide, please. Host of the PeaceBread Rye in 2018 is the respectable and honored farmer from the region of General Toshevo, northeast of Bulgaria, Mr. Stelian Stoyanov. Again, the rye bread is donated in a compassionate way to all people in need. Next slide. In 2019, the PeaceBread rice seeds are laid down in the fields of Miss Rumiana Angelova, a young farmer deeply involved with the initiatives of the civic society in the region of Biala Slatina. The rye was harvested in a festive folklore ceremony. Next slide. In the year of the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, the PeaceBread rice seeds were hosted by Mr. Alexander Mindachkin, an honored and respectable farmer from the region of Pazardzhik. Unfortunately, due to pandemic restrictions, NGPA didn't have the chance to celebrate the symbolic ritual of harvesting the rye, but we succeeded in handling forward the rye seeds. Next slide, please. So no matter the difficult health situation all over the world, the PeaceBread initiative was continued in 2021, and the rice was sown in Slavyanovo, a region of Pleven, in innovative farmers, Mr. Kunchu Kunchev and Mr. Dimitar Nenov, a good and motivating example of friendship and understanding in the purest way. Next slide, please. Oh, so on the next slide, we have prepared a special movie for this year's edition on the PeaceBread conference, and we will be very happy if there is enough time after all presentations to have the possibility to play the movie. And now let me focus and say some words in regard with the topic of this year's conference, PeaceBread in cities and the rural areas, for a better understanding in Europe. Together today, we are members of a large family called the European Union, a family that has been built upon common principles and values, including peace, freedom, cooperation, understanding, and solidarity. The PeaceBread project calls on us to honor, preserve, and embody these principles. It calls for us to not forget our past, but to look with hope of our common future together. The PeaceBread project recounts our historical memory and inspires us to become aware of the interweaving connection between agriculture on one hand, together with food security and peace on the other. The project encourages us to appreciate and promote cooperation and unity between our nations. All of our countries, PeaceBread partners, have a common past together, a common fortune, and a common desire for peace and prosperity. What could be the possible approaches for strengthening the PeaceBread network and giving popularity to the concept of peace and agriculture? First of all, in the cities. An idea attracting small bakeries in the cities to distribute brochures, leaflets, CDs for the PeaceBread project. To represent the PeaceBread initiative in the specialized secondary and higher schools in agriculture and food technology. Another idea in the rural areas, participation of project representatives in regional, local village gatherings and fairs with presentations and materials for the PeaceBread project, including charity competitions. And with attention to the young people in the villages, a joint initiative of the PeaceBread partners organizing a traveling cinema with movies and presentation of the project activities. Also, across EU, to initiate the development of joint projects between specialized secondary and higher schools from the partner countries for joint training programs and conferences. And last is something very interesting, the establishment of a pan-European PeaceBread Day, accompanied by the organization of different charitable initiatives in the member states funded by the EU funds. So we would be very pleased to learn about our ideas for boosting the PeaceBread initiative. And thank you for the attention.